So Miss Pena said that prokaryotic cells, that pro meant first. So does that mean that there's other cells that followed afterwards?
Yes, there's another kind of cell type called eukaryotic cell.
Eukaryotic. Okay.
And it came later in the history of life. And there's an interesting theory that some scientists have come up with to describe how it's formed.
So what theory is that that explains that?
It's called the endosymbiotic theory.
Okay. What does endosymbiotic mean?
Okay, well the endo part means inside or within. And symbiosis means living together. So it's some cells living inside and within another cell.
So I don't really get that. Like, how does that work?
Okay, well let me show you how it works with this model. We can work this model together. And mitochondria were thought to have been like a bacterial cell
Okay.
that entered another cell.
Okay.
So let's show that.
Okay, so this is our cell membrane and it's going inside? And what happens
Yes.
when it gets inside?
When it gets inside, eventually it becomes the mitochondrion.
Okay.
So the bacterial cell becomes the mitochondrion and starts to provide energy for the cell.
Huh. Okay.
And this actually would be how maybe an animal cell was formed.
Okay, so this is an animal cell, right?
We have an animal cell with the mitochondria.
Okay.
Now, they also think that besides engulfing something called, that eventually became the mitochondrion, there was a photosynthetic cell that was engulfed by
Okay, so
by a
it
bigger
went
cell.
in here too, just like that. Now, photosynthetic cell, that might have also had a bacteria too.
Right. And so eventually these evolved to become, or changed to become, chloroplasts and mitochondria, which would give us the parts we needed for a plant cell.
So these are eukaryotic cells.
These are eukaryotic cells. They have membrane-bound organelles, and it's a theory as to how this eukaryotic cell was formed from a prokaryotic cell.
Okay, so just to kind of make sure I have this, we had these prokaryotic cells outside, and they were doing their own thing, and then a cell membrane kind of ate them up, or embraced them, and then they became some of the organelles that we talk about today, our mitochondria and our chloroplasts.
That's right.
Okay.
That's right.
I don't know, that's still kind of hard. Is there another way you could show me this?
Yes, let's act it out.
Okay.
So we have a cell membrane.
I'll be a cell membrane. Miss Noble, can you be a cell membrane too?
Sure. And we have a bacterial cell, prokaryotic cell, that enters
Can I please come in?
the cell membrane.
Yes, you can.
Thanks.
And eventually the prokaryotic cell would become the mitochondrion,
Okay.
and mitochondria would be part of an animal cell.
So we're an animal cell.
Yay! Okay, so we're going to model maybe a plant cell.
Okay.
So come on
Let's
out.
break it up.
We'll start again. So we have the cell, the cell. We have to enter its cell membrane.
Okay.
So prokaryotic cell
Here I
is
come.
engulfed. Second
Okay.
prokaryotic cell is engulfed.
And now we turn them around.
We turn them around. We have mitochondria and chloroplast.
And so we are now
We are now a
plant cell.
This picture shows the endosymbiotic theory of a prokaryotic cell that was photosynthetic and a second prokaryotic cell that was not photosynthetic but was heterotrophic, entering an ancient ancestral host cell. With these new organelles, the cell is able to photosynthesize as well as create energy for itself, forming a eukaryotic cell. Here's another diagram that shows a prokaryotic cell with ancient aerobic bacterium and photosynthetic bacterial cell entering a larger prokaryotic cell to form an ancient eukaryote. Observe the sequence of events in how the eukaryotic cell is thought to have formed. Here you have aerobic bacterial cells that are being engulfed into a larger cell. And down here you've got photosynthetic bacterial cells that are also being engulfed into a larger prokaryotic cell. And you have a chloroplast and mitochondria. This one would be a plant cell. This one would be an animal cell. I found this picture that apparently is in German, but is a very good picture to show what we've been talking about. See if you can explain to a friend what is happening. I do want to point out that at the top here you end up with a plant cell, and down here you end up with an animal cell. Please discuss with a friend what you're looking at.